Welcome to Imperfect Heart, a place for you to join me, Jeff Holden, in conversations, discussions, and dialogue about our hearts and the impact myocardial bridges have on them. We'll talk with healthcare professionals, those in related fields that support our condition, and others just like us with stories of their myocardial bridge experiences. It's my intention for this content to inform, educate, entertain, and even motivate or inspire you in your personal journey on dealing with a myocardial bridge. Most importantly is to have you leave each episode with hope, knowing you're not alone and that what you're experiencing is real. I'm pleased to bring you the last and final segment of the September meetup of Imperfect Hearters. While the audio may be a little rough, the content is absolutely incredible, as this is the session where we actually talked about the things, well, we don't usually talk about. I think you'll enjoy the episode. I look forward to your feedback, and I now invite you into the last and final session of the Imperfect Heart meetup in September of 2024.
So I'll start with a couple of things that I noticed. Obviously, I was on the medication post-surgery. You just take what they tell you to give, what they give you, and it's okay. Pain meds, I was off, right under the hospital, except for I think one day I said, I gotta take the oxy.
Yeah.
And as I've learned, probably not bad to stay on them a little bit longer. It's fine. I just had digestive.
Trying to be an overachiever. I know she did. Haven't you learned?
So listen to your caregiver.
Right? And wife.
And wife.
But from a standpoint, digestively, it screws me up so bad.
Yep.
I mean, I literally
Yeah.
home from the hospital. It was funny. I'm going to share the story. Okay, this is embarrassing, but I'm going to share the story.
Do it.
So I'm in the hospital. You're on the drugs. I can't go. I want to go.
Yeah.
I got to go. And I'm telling them, I got to go. And they're like, okay. I get there, and I'm still in the ICU. I had another procedure post that was all part of this condition, but not related to the heart. So the sternotomy for me was a little more extreme. Anyhow, I'm like, I gotta go. I got it, and I know I have to go, but I feel terrible. I'm all back up, blah, blah, blah. And so they, okay. I said, okay, well, I got gas, and I'll never forget it because it sticks in my head. They go, gas is good. It is good. Yeah, it depends on who you're around, whether or not. So
It's always good.
that's right. I love having gas. And they said, something's happening. Okay, so nothing happens, right? And they go, oh, we can take care of this. We got the Stanford swoosh. We're going to do that. Well, the Stanford swoosh didn't work. And so I'm like, God, I'm going to just get this over with. And I'm not mobile yet. I can get from the bed to the little porta potty thing in the room. I can't get up and walk to the restroom. So I'm sitting on this little porta potty thing, and then the nurse checking it. And the fire alarm in the hospital goes off.
Oh my God. So did it scare something out of you?
No.
I'm sorry.
I wish it would have scared the ass out of me, yes. But it didn't. Everybody left.
And you're just sitting there?
Serious?
The whole place emptied out, and I'm
On the code.
I can't get myself up to get back to bed. I can't do anything. I'm just sitting there like,
Sounds like a real fire.
right? And I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is crazy. And finally, when they came back in, they go, oh my gosh, we're so
Forgot you?
sorry.
Oh my God.
So not only was it unproductive, it was embarrassing, and it was like, what's going on here?
Oh my gosh.
Everything runs its course at some point.
No pun.
Oh my God.
And I get home and I remember another incident where I was so afraid. Again, I'll look at you, Ed. I don't know how hard is hard
He's
enough.
got a big smile
How
on
hard
his
enough to
face.
push, right? But you're afraid.
You're going to break your
You're
spirit
a
up.
week or two out of your sternotomy. It's like, oh, how hard can I push? And I gotta go, and I gotta go, and I'm taking everything they tell you to take to loosen everything up and soften everything up, and it just wasn't working. And then, of course, you finally get to that point where it's just, I'm gonna make something happen. It doesn't matter
It's
what you're
dire.
gonna do. It's gotta go. And then you're thinking about the sternotomy. You're not worried about,
Oh,
the BM, you're worried about the sternotomy now. Now, I gotta pull this thing apart, and I wish it was so hard. And, and I share that just for the benefit of anybody who's listening too, just, okay, you're okay. You're fine.
People get focused on their body. You're just talking me out of surgery.
I'm sharing something that is
Okay, no, I'm good.
I know other people haven't, nobody's gonna talk about it.
Any surgery, it's always.
that's right.
It was one of the worst experiences. I couldn't decide whether or not the pain from my chest was worse or the pain from not being able to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And at one point that outweighed the pain
Yeah.
from the chest. And so it was difficult. I
Well, in
would
your
say.
case, you weren't closed up. So it's twice as bad.
Yeah, it really, really painful. And I remember calling in like that next week at like, this is horrible. What are we gonna do? I'm so sick. I don't even remember. We tried everything. We
Yeah.
tried prune juice. We tried the meds that they gave me. I don't remember, and it took days.
Yeah.
Days. Yeah. Very painful.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's all narcotics.
Welcome.
90% of it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, it just like slows everything from non-activity.
Yeah, we'll just, they
Yeah.
slow
Well, and I
everything
went
down.
off the oxy. I want to say like 2 days after I got home because I couldn't do it. I was so sick and just not being able to go. So
Yeah.
I ended up doing ibuprofen instead.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
Right.
10 of them at once.
Yeah, and on that note, again, for the benefit of those listening, you got to the ibuprofen as quickly as you could.
As quickly as I could.
Like I said, I had one instance where I reluctantly went to the oxy, but probably would have been okay if you heal a little bit easier, you're less likely to, stay so restrictive because you feel everything and they want you to move.
Is all that stuff like painkillers upset your stomach?
Make you nauseated.
I would say like the oxy really helped with like the sleeping because you're in
Can't
so
get
much
comfortable.
pain and I'm sure you experience that. Like you can't sleep because you're under so much stress from the pain. So it did help. Like for me, I would take it would come in like 4-hour waves. So like I would take the oxy and I could sleep for 4 hours and then I'd wake up and it'd be like, okay, and then the pain would come back really bad. But yeah, I did that for about 2 days at home and I just couldn't do the oxy anymore.
And you were like pain-free? Or did you
Yes.
take the meds?
I was just more sore. I didn't even want, well, they kind of forced me. I agreed to have in the hospital because it said for them to stop bugging me. But when I got home, after they took the pain or the nerve block catheter out of me, I was afraid I was going to be in pain, but I didn't really get in pain. It was just like really sore. So I would say that, and I think I took half of, maybe twice when I was at home yet, like, because the hardest thing was I couldn't get up from like, even though I was kind of elevated, but I couldn't get up. And I know you're supposed to roll, but I couldn't roll, so. I don't like to take the pain medicine because that does the same thing. It makes me also very nauseated. I felt like that was the nausea and vomiting the day of surgery was the worst. That's what made me in pain. And then after that, I said no more. Like,
How do you sleep after surgery?
Well, usually.
Elevated, right?
Or on a wedge or on an
Wedge.
incline of some sort, yes. Or some people sleep in recliners. I slept on my bed flat. I was fine with just pillows.
You were able to go flat right away?
Wow.
But a lot of people describe getting one of those wedges and putting it under them to prop themselves up.
How do you get out of bed?
You roll on your side like this and then you get up with your legs.
Yeah, I always think it's too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they show you the procedure in the hospital, just because you can't
Yeah.
put your arms out.
You
No.
can't push down on the bed. You just keep your arms in and roll.
You have the
So you gotta have
pillow.
your core muscles good before you. Yeah.
Practice
Core
it
and
at a time.
legs, they suggest those are the two most important in terms of being able to
Move.
heal quickly. How about once you got out, you get home, and we all know sternal precaution. This is for anybody that has the sternotomy. You're in the can, you gotta keep your elbows in. I laughed when you were describing. So you were good with it. Linda, what'd you do? How did you navigate?
Well, yeah, I kept my elbows at my side most of the time and just, tried to move around and do things this way. And I got out a lot of laundry and I got out of a lot of cooking by doing that.
Dishwasher.
Dishwashing, all that.
Vacuuming.
Yes, yeah, just,
How long before
It's-
you realized you could?
well, you can come up
Get there.
straight, of course, but you can't, it's hard to do things like, opening a closet door or opening the refrigerator door or something that took. I would stand up and walk back the door like this, so I wouldn't, I wasn't pushing or pulling anything too hard with my arms. But
How long do they want you to do that?
I mean, it gradually gets better, maybe 4 to 6 weeks.
That long.
Wow. No mowing the lawn.
Wow.
No more. No.
I hear I was like, gosh,
Yeah.
remember, just because of my experience,
Yeah.
like, go as long as possible.
Right.
And like go to the physical rehab. And then I would say, like, if they say 4 to 6 weeks, times that by 2 or whatever's comfortable. Everyone's different in recovery. So
And did you say you had a nerve block for pain? Did you guys all have that, or?
I declined having
You
the nerve
declined.
block. They described it to me, and I started thinking, what if I am paralyzed or something? I have a successful surgery. So I said, no, I don't want the nerve block.
Is it like an epidural?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you have a baby? Like,
Yeah.
or, okay.
Well, that's.
But they put it somewhere else.
Right. No, I don't want that.
In Linda's case, you were intubated a little longer and you would have been, I think, otherwise. Woke up kind of waiting, and they kept saying, you need to breathe, and she falls asleep. And, that's that individual thing. Somebody else, that might have been a perfect solution, but it just didn't work out. But, it's what it was.
Yeah.
And I think maybe because he hadn't done the block. If he had the block, they wouldn't have given the methadone. And who knows? He just, everything has a way it can work out. It's never always going to be the same.
Right. In the process of recovery, first steps back to normalcy, what did you guys experience as you're, okay, now it's time to start doing stuff. I gotta walk, I gotta get up. I mean, I really gotta walk, not just around the house, I gotta get out. What went through your heads and what did you do?
I celebrated each small milestone. I can
That's
remember
good.
when we were in the hotel, getting out and just walking around the block. No, the first day, just getting out and sitting in the sunshine in my house coat. This is so great. And then the next day,
I'm alive.
I'm alive and it's sunny. And
Aw.
the next day, getting out and walking around the block, and I was just grinning. It's like I can walk around the block on walks, and then celebrating the little things like I could take a shower and wash my hair by myself today. That was yeah. You have to do it carefully, but you can do it.
I'm interjecting, again, when I say, well, she's talking like it's like this, I got better every day. That's what I remember it. I was going to say, there's definitely these step back days, because literally, the one day, the second day, home day, almost passing out, walking back from the breakfast, you're just in the hotel, walking from the breakfast area to the room, I was like, I'm really faint, sit down right now, because that little getting adjusted, heart and the medicine to
That
get
was
adjusted back off.
too much
And
medication.
another day, when we started walking, we were asked to stick around in Stanford for 10 days after surgery. So that's fine, we've had a hotel to say that. But we wanted to get out, it was a warm day, so we would out walk around a bit, go out and walk around the park, and I feel not so good, There were definitely some times where it wasn't the chest pain, it was my
Just
lightheaded,
weakness.
or kind of weak, or just kind of faint. And in those days, she's thinking, oh no, I really feel terrible, what's going on? And okay. And another day, I'm much better. And I think that's really important. It really is, it's a fluctuating thing.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm just getting better every day. I mean, yeah, in the big picture it is, but day to day, be prepared that it's not always going to be that way.
Be
Somebody's
sensitive to.
going to be kind of that.
I would say for me, like, it was a really emotional recovery, just
Right.
because like I had been used to such a different lifestyle before, and like it wasn't coming fast enough. Like I really thought like, oh, I'm gonna get this surgery and like I'm gonna get back to working out and I'm gonna be strong again, and like I kept telling myself a superhero, but like it wasn't like that. And like you just said, like there were good days, there was bad days. Getting excited about washing my hair. I think it was almost 2 or 3 weeks after, and I was like, oh,
That's hard.
this, Yeah, I would say for every good, there was like then a couple days of bad. So a very long process. And then just trying to stay positive all the time. I did work with a therapist, PTSD, and I worked with her for a whole year after. That was really beneficial because I was depressed all the time. In my medical team, and I'm not sure about all of you, but they did explain that there would be a sense of like just sadness and depression through.
I hear that
recovery.
happens.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it until I was in it, and I was like, oh, this
It's
is
so
this
long.
is it. It's so long.
Yeah.
Right. But I would say I would get excited if I could go to Trader Joe's with like my mom or to Target just for like simple errands, just because like I hadn't seen the light of day in a while.
Yeah.
But then I had a really hard time because I had weight gain that occurred quite rapidly throughout this period. I've gained like 50 pounds throughout this whole thing. And so that was also another thing. So I think it's come with like a lot. I don't know, there's so much to the recovery.
Yeah, I
That's
remember some of the things, sleeping, the difficulty, where's comfortable? I had a rig that I built on the couch, and like, what is this back pain? Doesn't feel like the heart, it's this just stabbing in between the shoulder blades pain that I couldn't, get rid of. Heating pad was miraculous to me. It took me like a week to figure out a heating pad's a good idea. But once we got the heating pad, it was from Sarah, who said, dummy, get a heating pad. So we got the heating pad, and it was so much better, at that point. And I see you looking at me, I think you were telling me to get the heating pad, yes.
It has to be
But that made such a difference. And then again, you have that cyclical, oh, okay, that's good. I was able to sleep that night. I do remember one thing that was, it was for real. I mean, our house is 2 stories, so Teresa would go upstairs to bed and go to sleep, and I'd stay on the couch because I couldn't lay down or anything yet. It probably took me 2 weeks to where I was really comfortable laying down in the bed, and it felt okay. And she says, are you still up? I said, yeah. I said, well, why don't you try coming up to bed? And I said, no, I need to stay awake. Well, why do you need to stay awake? Because I'm afraid if I go to sleep, I may not wake up.
Aww.
Yeah.
And I think that's that piece of depression where you're going, I'm a little worried about this. Everything was fine, everything was going fine, I felt good. But, back to those days of cyclicality, you go out, you do your walk, and it's a good day, and everything feels fine, and then the next day you're cursing up and down because it's like, it felt so good yesterday. Everything just felt so much better, and then today, why the hell doesn't it feel the same and better on top of it?
And then you start looking for reasons. What did I do yesterday that made me feel worse today? Did I forget my medicines? Did I not eat right? Am I dehydrated?
Yeah.
Did any of you guys get pericarditis?
Oh, you did?
I did.
It's common, isn't it? Is that because you're messing with the lining of the heart?
I don't know how common it is. It seems that I hear about it more on the robotic surgeries.
Oh, really?
Yes. Don't know why. Jeremy had it. He had a real rough case of it. Another gentleman had it. And I can think of 5 people like right off the top of my head right now that all ended up with pericarditis. I didn't realize you had it too.
I found out this
What?
year, it was notated 3 different times, so.
What? I asked Boyd about it. He goes, I don't know why it happens. He couldn't give me an answer. I'm like,
That's because people don't know why it happens.
It just
happens as a result
happened.
of- I mean, you have to
The
cut through
trauma.
the pericardium to get to the heart,
okay.
and so and they leave the pericardium open generally, and
Oh.
so it's
Okay.
in there kind of flapping around, and sometimes it gets irritated.
oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't know why it happened with me, so we're not supposed to be opened up.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
not supposed to be touched, so,
protected.
yeah.
Dr. Balke thought it maybe in the robotic cases, some people have a sensitivity to the nitrous oxide that they pump in, and it might inflame,
Then lining.
Pericardium.
Oh, okay.
because he questions it too. He said, we really don't know, but that may be what it is, and we can't identify that as an allergy,
No.
per se. It just happens. So, yeah, I just see that fairly common. How about as you started the next phase, you get through that first 6 weeks of we're all sternotomy in here. So that first 6 weeks of sternotomy, you start to feel pretty good. You start to move some things out, and now you're walking. And did anybody cheat and drive? No.
It wasn't allowed.
You did.
I made it to, I think, like week 7, and I was like, I can't. I gotta go to Target.
Sorry, I went to the office. I was way earlier than
I know, when I'm here in
Yeah.
Florida, 8 weeks, I'm like, I don't know, I think it was like more like 5 days.
No, it was like 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
Wow.
Before you.
My office
Overachiever.
is closed. It's a week and a half, a mile and a half. So
Oh.
I think, but here's what I realized. You can't get your hand over hand on the steering wheel.
You're like this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're literally, you can only do this because you're
What about the turns?
That's what I'm saying. It was
You didn't wanna
not easy.
Yeah.
As soon as I went to do this, it was like, oh, Jesus, that hurts. Now I get it. And if you had to do an evasive maneuver, you're
You're
scared.
done.
You would, so it is legit. Don't
Yeah.
drive.
I did
You know,
regret the
that's safe.
first time I got in the car, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I should have done it.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just so surprised. It's like, wow, you really can't do that. So you get, I'm sure everybody did their walking expectation. How did that go? What,
I was getting really frustrated. I would suggest maybe not being on the support page during a recovery.
It's probably a good idea.
Because it's almost a little defeating.
Mm.
Because like even Jeff, like his recovery was so different from mine. Like I would say I'm so slow. I would get really upset that like I wasn't where like Jeff had been at that mark or Sarah had been at that mark, and
Yeah.
I start comparing ages and cases and like where was I at? So I'd get really emotional after my walks, and like instead of like being positive, where I was like, yes, I did it. I was like, I used to be able to work out a lot. Like this is terrible. So I would be able to make it like down the street and back. And where I live, there's a lot of hills, so it was like down a hill, back up a hill. So it was a lot just to get down to the corner and then back for a while. So that was just my goal, to like make it down and back like a few times, and then like maybe 5 times during that time. So I did cardiac rehab didn't start until later. So after I went back to work. So not until I hit my 90-day mark, and then they said.
Is that when they?
Yeah, for me, they had me start cardiac rehab later, and that I will say I didn't progress like I thought I was going to, and there was a lot of tears during cardiac rehab for me. There was people who were much older than me that had just had open heart surgery, who were like going really fast, and I could barely go like 2, like whatever like on a level 2 at like a 1.5 incline for 20 minutes without feeling like I was going to pass out. And then I would get through my sessions. I was doing about 40 minutes in the beginning, very slow. And then afterwards, I would start to pass out. So we don't know what was causing it, but cardiac rehab was documenting everything. And it was like that for the whole. So yeah, for me, it was difficult. It was not as positive as I was hoping.
but important that you did it because you
Yeah.
couldn't have done that on your own.
Yeah.
No, I had to be there. Even now, like they have suggested if I want to be under supervision, like I can be. It's optional at this point, but I do have to be really careful.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a lot going on. We figured out a lot during that time. So
Kelly, did you do cardiac rehab?
Yes, 6 weeks after. One thing that I forget now, a couple days after, well, maybe 5 days after, my heart rate was higher than normal. And I'm really sensitive to that because I've had a lot of arrhythmias. And I actually went to the ER at Stanford because I had one of those, blood pressure things on your wrist. And it wouldn't read my heart rate. It would just be like flashing, like arrhythmia. So I was like, that's weird. So I went in and got checked out, and they said it was just normal after surgery that your heart rate is high. And so actually now I have a high, like kind of normal
Resting heart rate.
Yeah, it's about, it could get to 90, but it's usually like 100.
Your resting days.
Yeah, after surgery. And I gotten used to it, but at first it was hard for me because I wasn't used to that, and I always think, oh, my heart rate's high. And I forget about it now to even mention that, but that was kind of an issue that scared me because it would kind of make me dizzy. And so when I would go to the cardiac rehab, I would have a high heart rate. But then I have to tell myself, no, it's okay. Like, it's not like your other ones. So that was the issue. And I was, the biggest thing was shortness of breath after surgery, but that was just normal. Because I had a partially collapsed lung, even though they said it was normal. So it took a while
To get
to get it
it back.
back. So I went back to work after 4 months, and at that point I was like, okay, I'm breathing fine. I was used to the kind of fast heartbeat.
Yeah, that's not uncommon.
Yeah.
They collapse along. Or
They say that's
both
what
of
they
them.
do it on purpose, so
Oh.
it just has to reinflate.
I didn't know that.
Who was on pump?
I was
You were on pump? Not on pump?
No.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah.
I think I gained an hour of life because I was not beating for an hour. So
There you go.
look at the positive side of that.
What's the real story?
Might be more than an hour. Might be an hour and a half. On your next steps of recovery, and all of us went through the steps, the walking. I just remember Teresa's a big walker, so we would go out and walk, and the first goal was just to be able to keep up with her, and then it was to be able to keep up with her for some distance, and then be able to go faster than her on the walk, up and down the hill, and we're doing good. Now I'm good, but it's those milestones, and then the days that suck because you can't do what you did the day before. It doesn't make sense because progression, at least physically, typically, you go to the gym, the next day's a little bit better, and then progresses on a positive trend line, literally, whereas this is, there's dips on that trend line. And I think it's important to understand that's going to happen. Once you got to your sternal precaution to where it's okay, now you can be kind of normal, do what you need to, just be a little careful. What was the first thing you did?
I was playing with the dog too soon. Fetch, and I wasn't supposed to be lifting her, and I love to hold my dog. She's so cute.
No.
And I wasn't supposed to be doing that, and I did. And so that was like the big thing. I really wanted to play with my dog. I went back to work too soon. I went back at 3 months, and I was like, I'm ready. I can do this because I was feeling better on most days, but then I didn't take into account that for every 2 good days I was asleep for 3 after that. So.
How about you, Kelly, when you got to where the first thing you remember doing now? Was anybody scared to do that thing that you hadn't done, that you were like, if I'm gonna do this now, how am I? Am I really okay to do it?
Yeah, driving. I waited 2 months. That was good because the nurses scared me at Stanford with that. So they said, and then don't out. And they had me, I always had to ride in the back seat, which I felt like a kid because they said the airbag,
With your pillow?
would kill me. So my dad heard that and then was in the back seat for a long time. So she had to drive me around.
I would say there's nothing like being a grown woman in the back of the car while your parents driving.
Linda was the chauffeur service, actually.
I was thinking driving Miss Daisy.
I didn't divide. I got in the front seat and
Wow.
I had my little pillow there. I remember we were coming out of the hospital and he didn't want to be sitting that long. He's too long to sit. So we stop at a Starbucks about the halfway point and I get out. It's not the best neighborhood. And here I am.
Oh my
gosh. Normally I would get out of the car. I wouldn't think anything of it. If somebody approached me, you get a fight, you get a fight. You know, so
Or run.
I go to run, and I'm standing there, Teresa ran into the store, and I'm just standing there going, oh my gosh, if something happens, I can't do anything. I can't protect the car, I can't protect myself, and it was one of the most vulnerable positions I've ever found myself in. That day leaving the hospital going, whoa, I am totally incapable of doing anything at this point if I needed to do it.
Well, right about here is where the session started to wrap up, and it was time to go after a long, long day. So I hope you enjoyed it. We look forward to doing it again at some point in the future. And I appreciate everybody's participation in the first ever Imperfect Heart Meetup. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Imperfect Heart. It's my hope that this information helped in some way to improve your situation or will help you better understand this condition. More importantly, that it gives you hope through stories that there is help and you most certainly are not alone. If you've been diagnosed with a myocardial bridge, please be sure to join the private Facebook group, Myocardial Bridge Support Group. For more information about our program or to reach me directly, visit the website, myimperfectheart.com. If you like what you heard today, please give a positive review, thumbs up, high five, or whatever your app likes. And be sure to share with everyone important to you so they understand what it is you're dealing with. Please subscribe as well. Welcome each day with gratitude and positivity. The views and opinions expressed in this program are solely those of the host and the guest and are not intended to provide, nor are they a suitable substitute for, professional care by a doctor, therapist, mental health professional, or other qualified medical professional. Imperfect Heart is a production of Hear Me Now Studio.